pile just fell. So today I have a book haul, and I don't normally film videos, so I'm sorry if this is kind of strange, but I've recently started reading again because I haven't been reading for a while because of college and life. So I thought that I would film this because I have recently acquired over 56 new books, and I thought, someone in the world might want to see that. So I'm going to film a video, and I'm just going to hop right into it. So I also want to mention that most of these books are from the book outlet, which I never ordered from before, and that's what kind of got me into trouble because I was like, oh my gosh, these are so cheap. And it's kind of like going to a thrift store. You just kind of click the new arrivals and they just have all these books in all different genres. So I thought that was really cool. And then some of them I did get from Amazon. So the next book I got is also from the book outlet, and it is Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Levenseller. I never heard of this book before. I haven't heard of a lot of these books before, but anything having to do with pirates I love. So I'm definitely gonna give this a try. I don't know anything about this book, but obviously it's about a daughter of a pirate king. So did I say pirate lord? I don't know, but it's Pirate King, it's not Pirate Lord. The next book I picked up from the book outlet is Cursed by R.L. Stine. It is part of his Fear Street Saga series. I think this might be a prequel, so I'm gonna have to look, but I think the first one's A New Fear and then the ones under it. But I'm really excited to read it. It's R.L. Stine, so yeah, and it's like kind of a floppy type of book. I don't know if this is an adult series or not, but I'm thinking it might be young adult, kind of shying away from middle grade. So I'm really excited to read this, especially because Halloween is up and it definitely matches my lipstick. So the next book I got is also from the book outlet, and it's The Gallery by Laura Marks Fitzgerald. And I'd never heard of this book. I never heard of the author, but it's supposedly a pretty popular YA book, so I think I give it a try. I think that this book is set in the 1920s, and it's basically about a young maid that works there, and she has to solve a mystery. So that sounds pretty good. And then when I looked through it, the font is nice and big, so I don't know. That just got me excited because I love big font books because they're easier to read, obviously, but I'm really excited to read this, and the cover's pretty cool. So, and I wonder if she's related to F. Scott Fitzgerald. I don't know. Maybe she's not, maybe she is, but that'd be pretty cool. I have to look into that. But that is also from the book outlet, and it's, I think, one that I'm most intrigued to read because anything that has to do with the 1960s, 70s music culture I'm really into. So basically, I think this book is either going to be really cool or kind of corny, but yeah, I've never heard of it. It was only like $1, so it's Are You Experienced by Jordan Sonnenblick, and it's like a guy playing a guitar. And basically what I gathered from this is it's about this boy, or teenage boy, that lives in our generation, and he is mad at his dad, so he steals his dad's most prized possession, which is one of Jimi Hendrix's guitars. And basically he time travels back to the 60s and he revisits Woodstock, and basically he has to figure out what's going on because he gets to hang out with his father, who was obviously really young at that time. So that just sounded so interesting to me, so I'm really excited to see if I really like this book. Next book I also picked up from the book outlet, and it is Little Black Dresses, Little White Lies by Laura Stampler. And the cover is just so cute. I'm usually not into contemporary books, but this one just sounded really cute. It's basically about this girl that is wanting to go move into the city, and she basically wants to apply for this magazine, but to do that it's about dating advice, and she doesn't have much advice to give in that department, so she uses the stories of her best friend, and it's basically her trying to lie her way through the job. So I don't know, it just sounded really cute, and I'm not much of a contemporary person, but I just thought that sounded really cool. I love anything to do with New York City, so yeah. And then the cover is just so cute, and I was really excited that I got this. It's just such a nice book, and it was only $2, so yeah, Book Outlet is alright. And the next two books are a part of a series that I never heard of before, but it's about pirates, so again, I got it. The first one in the series is Black Hearts by Nicole Casterman, which is a really cool cover. And then I got the second one, Black Souls. So, and these were both pretty cheap on the Book Outlet. I don't know anything about them. I don't want to know. I just want to go in blindly, but obviously it's about a pirate adventure, and I think the main character is a female. So yeah, really excited to read these. And next we have a story by Lauren Oliver, which is her newest book, I think, and it's called Replica. I've only read one other book by Lauren Oliver, and it is Panic, and I thought it was pretty good. As I said, I'm kind of growing out of YA, but I just thought it was pretty good book, and this one was really cheap, and it's told in dual perspectives, so I thought that was really cool. So I'm excited to give this a try. I think what I'm going to do is read one chapter with Lyra and then one chapter with Gemma, because that's how a lot of other people read it, and they said it was really interesting and it interweaves like perfectly, so that's going to be really interesting too. Next one is a book by Suzanne Young, and it's Hotel for the Lost. I think it was previously named Hotel Ruby, but it was renamed. Basically, I guess this is about a girl and her family that go to this hotel, and things are a lot darker than it seems, and I think basically she has to decide if she wants to stay there forever or if she wants to leave. So I just thought that sounded really interesting, especially for Halloween. And I've never read anything by Suzanne Young, so I'm really excited to read it. It's another thriller slash horror book, and it is The Troop by Nick Cutter. I think it's about this troop leader in Canada that he leaves a group of Boy Scouts, and basically they get in trouble or something, and that's all I really know about it. It does have a blurb on the top from Stephen King, so I'm really excited to read this. I'm pretty sure this is an adult book, so I think it's going to be interesting to see how the author makes this work with younger boys. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's a troop of boys. He's a scoutmaster, so I think that'll be interesting to see how the author writes about that in an adult way. It's a pretty popular book. It is The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. I have never read this book, so I thought I'd pick it up. It was a really cheap price on Book Outlet, and I really don't know anything about it. I just know that it's about a group of teenagers. That's all I want to know about it, but I'm excited to finally read this book because it definitely is a very popular. It's probably the book that I was most excited about getting in my order, and it is The Empty Glass by J.J. Baker. And when I bought this, I thought it was a nonfiction, but it's not a nonfiction. But basically, it is about an FBI agent looking into the supposed death murder of Marilyn Monroe, and it is a fiction, but it's basically using all of the kind of taboo facts that have been found throughout the investigation and kind of intertwining them in a fiction novel. So I just thought that sounded so cool, and I'm just so excited to read this. And the cover is so cool. I really want to kind of try her makeup look. Her makeup look is really cool in there, but yeah, so I'm super excited to read. Alright, and next are some books that I did get from Amazon. The first one is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone by J.K. Rowling. And then Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets by J.K. Rowling. I haven't read Harry Potter. I have read the last two books before the movies came out, and that's why I read them. I grew up with the movies per se. I didn't grow up reading the books, so I thought it was about time to read the books. So I actually just read The Sorcerer's Stone, and I'm currently reading Chamber of Secrets, and I'm watching the movies to correlate with these, and I've been really enjoying it. So those are those. I have House of Dark Shadows by Robert Labrullo. I think that's how you say it. This is another book that I was really excited to read. I heard about this book years and years and years ago, and I just never picked it up, but it was really cheap on the book outlet, so I got it. And basically it is about this boy and his family that move into this house, and there's like ghosts and dark things that are going on, so I'm really excited to start this series and see if I have an adult fiction book, and it is Fangland by John Marks. I had never heard of this book before, but I picked it up on Book Outlet, and basically I think it's about New York, and vampires are kind of taking over the office part of New York, as in like the businesses and the offices in the skyscrapers or something like that. I love vampires, so I was really excited to get this, and I haven't ever read a vampire adult novel, just vampire young adult novels, so I'm really excited to see how this compares. Merciless by Danielle Vega, and I had seen this book in Target every time I went in, and I thought it was such an interesting looking book. Honestly, I just thought that looks like if you were in a cult, this would be the book. And the person in the cult wanted the book to be pink, so they had it be made pink. I don't know anything about this. Obviously, I think it's about something dark, so I'm really excited to read it. And I think they just put the second book on the Book Outlet, so if I like this, I will definitely be purchasing Ruth Wood, which is an author I've never read before, but I just started hearing about how good her books are. I think she's known for mystery, so this is I think her debut novel, In a Dark Dark Wood, so I'm really excited to read this. I know nothing about it, and that's the way I like going into books, as I said, for the 10th time probably. But yeah, really excited to see what I think of this author. I've heard that it's kind of like a love-hate thing. Either you really like her books or you're kind of so on Makenna's book, and it is The Rest of Us Just Live Here, which I think is about a group of students in high school, but they're not your average students. They are kind of, I guess, maybe the rejects of superheroes or something like that. So I thought that would be really interesting. The only other book I've read by him is A Monster Calls, which he finished for another author who unfortunately passed away from cancer while reading it, and I thought that book was so touching. I don't think this book will probably be like that, but either way, I'm excited to series, and it is The Skin Map by Stephen R. Lawhead, A Bright Empire's novel, it says. And I never heard of these before, but they sounded really interesting, so I also got the second one, The Bone House. And basically what I've gathered about these books is that it's about time travel, dual realities, some things about physics and stuff like that, and it's based in London, I think. So I'm really excited to read these. I don't know if it's a young adult series or an adult series. I'm kind of thinking it's more of an adult series, but either way, I'm really excited. The next book that I have is a book I did purchase on Amazon, and it is The River at Night by Ulrika Ferdinand, I think is how you pronounce her name. This is an adult thriller novel about these women that go on a river raft adventure, or kind of date as you will, because they're both trying to get away from their families, from their children, and basically they end up wrecking. So that's all I know about it. I thought that sounded so cool. And next is another really, really strange one. It is Knit and Wrap, 25 Capulets and Collars. I know how to knit at the most beginner level there ever is, so I don't really know if I'll ever get to this level, because I was looking through it, not that anyone cares, but you know, they have like all those languages like CO24 and stuff like that. I have no idea what that means, but it was $1, and maybe when I'm a grandma I will whip this out and I will knit some really cool Capulets. So